So that by far is your just favorite memory.
No, not favorite. I don't know.
Not a favorite?
Well, no, because I mean, who wants to talk about the guy who's larger in life that was Trackmagic passing away?
Valid point.
I mean, it was terrible. It was a terrible day, but a good day. I mean, I don't know how to say it. And then the weekend after, we go to Sonoma for Kartsport Grand Prix. Every person that was Trackmagic back then that kind of got out of it were there, and we just smoked everybody, qualified pole, the 3 heat race wins, winning the final. And then at that time, they like had us, I can't remember. I just remember like in a car after the race, like on a trailer or something, and they're pulling you out, and all the people are lined up, they're cheering and everything. I just jumped off the trailer. I said, whatever. I don't care about doing the victory lap or whatever. And they, hugging them and then lifting me up like I was, the hero or whatever to these guys. It was extremely special to me.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you were their representation of Trackmagic.
I was the lone guy on the Trackmagic. That, there was one, and that was the crazy thing. I mean, it was only one.
Yeah.
And we were going against teams with numerous drivers. I mean, I always tell my guys and how I run my race team, I hate when we go with only one guy because it's extremely difficult, and that's what we were doing. So, yeah, it was Trackmagic. I mean, there's so many, like you said, passion and everything. It was so much different racing for that company than racing for any other company, honestly. So it was I mean, memories. I don't know. I mean, I just remember Fausto coming into the shop one time, and I can't even tell the story really correctly because it was so much vulgar language in the statement. But he walked in the shop, looked at a certain area, and said, "I'm going to put a car lift here. You can put all the profanities, descriptive words in between that." And if we know Fausto, how he exactly said. I mean, he literally walked in, said he's going to do that, walked straight out. Didn't say hello, how's it going? I'm going to put a car lift here. Walked out. Had the car lift in like within 2 days. Sweet. Then he brought this old Ferrari in. Comes storming in, smoking the tire. Runs in the shop, lifts it up. Yeah, car lift works. Sweet. Throws a box of brake pads on my bench and says, "I want you to put these brakes on this Ferrari." And just walks off. Walks out. Okay.
You're a Ferrari mechanic, right?
Yeah, I was like 19 years old at the time. I didn't really know. I mean, I knew how to work on go-karts. Obviously, I didn't know how to work on cars. And all right, well, I take the tires off and I put these brake pads in. I figured it out. That's before the time of YouTube. Look it up. Look up on a video and everything. Figured it out. Got the brake pads in. He comes in a couple days later. Got the brake pads done? Yeah, actually, I got it. Cool. Starts that thing up. Throws it in reverse. Jay turns it and just starts hauling ass down the street. Oh my God. This guy's crazy, right? Hits the brakes as hard as he can. Flips a U-turn, comes back, hits the brakes again, rolls down the window, doesn't even get into the shop, looks at me and says, "Brakes work good job." Turns around and blazes off. That's Fausto Vitella for you. I mean, just stuff like that happened all the time. I mean, just wild stuff. I mean, that's how he was. I mean, to the point, blunt, tell him how it was, and if he thought you were talking BS, I mean, he'd be up in your face. I mean, it was just that type of guy. It was, like I said, larger than life, the biggest heart on anyone that I've ever met, but the hardest. So I don't know if that's a good description, but that's my. I
think we all got a good representation, and we know what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
So let's fast forward to yesterday. I wasn't here, so you have to paint the picture for most of our listeners that were not here. You unveiled a Trackmagic cart yesterday.
Yes.
And on Facebook, I saw a picture that someone took from the scoring tower, and it was all the Trackmagic guys lined up with their suits, all their carts, and then you were at the front with the covered cart. And what did you unveil yesterday?
Yeah, so it all started with Jason Lapointe, who came to me and said, I see this race team that you're doing and the kart brand, and you're manufacturing karts now and everything. I think it's really cool, And he just came to me asking, like, how can I help? Like, I think this is really cool. And I said, I don't know. I mean, like, what are you thinking? He's like, well, if anything, I need help with, maybe taking drivers that can't afford to race and helping them race, that maybe deserve to race. And, he had the idea of, maybe we do a Trackmagic scholarship or something. And he's like, yeah, we could, like, put Trackmagic stickers on your car. And then I naturally just said, why don't we just do a Trackmagic go-kart at that point? What do you mean? And I said, well, I'm never a guy who does, like, just wants to put, like, Trackmagic stickers on my go-kart. Like, if it's going to say Trackmagic, it needs to be Trackmagic. He's like, what do you mean? So what can we do? I said, let's make a Trackmagic go-kart. Let's full-on Trackmagic go-kart. I mean, if we're going to do that, we got to do it full-on. And he was like, yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. And then he's like, and then we started thinking about it more, like, well, what if we unveil this thing and people want to buy them? And my thing was like, well, I mean, I have my own brand. I don't think I can really take on two brands, and everything, but maybe we'll do 10. I mean, like, I don't know. Like, we don't really know exactly. I mean, that's what we've come up with now because we didn't know the reaction we were going to get. I mean, all these guys that came out here today and this weekend all have older Trackmagics. What's to say they see mine and, well, it's not a Trackmagic. It's Gary's kart.
Yeah.
So we didn't know what the feedback was going to be, and so it was really cool ceremony, with everybody there, and Gary LaPointe started speaking, and then we started speaking about the project and everything, what we're thinking about doing, and we unveiled it, and the reaction seemed really, really cool, everyone cheering, and then when we announced that we decided we're gonna race it. We're gonna race it in the Super Nationals in the KZ category with Matias Ramirez, and that got even a bigger applause and bigger reaction out of everybody. And then, so yeah, right now, I mean, it's in its fetal stages. We don't have any official announcements. We did like the studio photos on Friday, so we didn't have those ready yet. I mean, once those get ready, I'm going to put out an official press release. But I mean, the Trackmagic name is owned by Jason LaPointe. He's contracted me to build these 10 one-off Trackmagic labeled Trackmagic go-karts. I mean, they're not GSC go-karts, they are Trackmagic. They have their own serial numbers. They have their own etching on the brakes. They have their own color of the go-kart. I mean, it's its own identity. It's its own kart. And, from there, we're going to see. I mean, we've got already some guys that want to just buy the go-kart and put it on a wall. Some guys maybe want to I heard one guy wants to buy two, one to drive and one to put on the wall. So it was really cool feedback, and it was really cool to see everyone come up to, or have everyone come up to me after we unveiled it, and just, they loved it. They seemed very appreciative of it and the work that we did. And I mean, it was, to build everything and get it all together and do it how I wanted to do it is maybe my little OCD things got in the way and pushed the project along, a little bit longer than it should have. But I wanted it right, because Fausto was kind of the guy, if you're going to do it, you're going to do it right. And that's how I've always done it. Obviously, working with your boss, Rainey Pearson, was always the same way. And I've been brought up in that thing of it's not half-assed. If we're going to do it, we're going to do it right. We're not going to do it at all.
Yeah, and it was really neat to see. I already told you I had some preconceived ideas of what this would be. And I honestly thought it was going to be a GFC with a Trackmagic decal kit. And as I'm looking at the cart, I'm looking at the brakes. Like you said, it has the etching on the brakes with the Trackmagic logo. You look at the chassis, and on the chassis, I looked at the serial tag, the homologation. It's Trackmagic.
Yeah.
Model. What's the model?
The model, we named it FE, obviously for Fausto Vitello, and then it's just a Trackmagic FV. This is the new model of Trackmagic, or so, or limited edition, however you want to call it. I mean, we haven't finalized exact wording and everything, but once we do the official press release, it'll be there. I mean, obviously we knew once we unveiled the cart to everyone here, it's like you can't keep it in wraps. People are going to take photos of it. It's going to get out. So
Let it go.
Let it go. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, just everyone will have to wait for official announcement exactly what we're doing and how we're going to proceed with it and everything else. And but yeah, I mean, it was a great event. I mean, meeting people that I didn't know. You know, more or less the customers and everything. It was a great event. Hold on one second. Hey, can I call you back in like 2 minutes? I'm doing. But yeah, and then honestly, like from the event standard, what's going to come out in my mind besides the tornado was Kyle Martin. You know, I always looked at the Trackmagic guys, the Points, the Rowans, the Martins, the Yees, all these people that were before me. I came after that era of Trackmagic when they were unstoppable and this powerhouse team, and to be a factory Trackmagic driver in their era was like to be a Ferrari Formula One driver in our sport, right? I mean, it was the highest of the high.
They were a powerhouse.
Yeah, there was the highest of the high. If you were an official Trackmagic driver, you were a badass, right? And I came kind of after that, where Trackmagic was a little bit on the down slope. It was all European karts at the time. There was different teams. There were the powerhouse teams and everything. And, you know, I was a punk kid back then. You know, I was a young 18-year-old, 19-year-old punk kid. They were established drivers. They were national champions. And I hadn't won anything at that point. And when, in the end, I guess I never did win a Trackmagic, a national champion. I won some national races, but on that year I won the first national championship. I started the year on Trackmagic and then obviously went to CRG after the company was sold. But when Kyle told me, he goes, you know, because like they were legends. They won the big races and the national championships and that, but I never did that with the Trackmagic brand. And Kyle, to me, and I kind of told him, you guys are like the legends and everything. We were talking about that. And Kyle told me, he's like, well, you know, when you won after the old man died, you became a legend too. You know, to us, to them, you know, like, you doing that was made you a Trackmagic legend, you know? So, and I never heard that or, you know, thought that. I still didn't think that to this day, but when Kyle told me that, it meant the world to me. You know, there's been very few times, like, in accomplishments in my career and life don't go to races. It's actually for what certain people have said to me that is the biggest accomplishments of my life. And them telling me that, you know, all three of those guys around in a group circles telling me, like, that's when you became the legend, you know, is another one of my greatest accomplishments, I think, in my career.
Yeah, that's a great story because it's the history there. Mm-hmm. And then you would have been the last of them.
Yeah.
And you wrapped it up for those guys.
Yeah. And you can win 1,000,000 races in your career, 1,000,000 championships, but it's how in my opinion, it's how you're perceived after or during you winning those. I mean, you can be the guy who goes out and smokes everyone every weekend, but everyone could be, you know, I mean, he was an asshole or, you know, he cheats or he's not respected, right? I mean, respect in someone's career is more valuable to me, at least, than any race victory or anything else.
Yeah, that had to be pretty good to hear.
Yeah, no, it took me back. I mean, like I said, I have probably 3-4 achievements or people saying something to me, and that's one of them now. Yeah.
And that happened this weekend?
Yeah, it happened. Yeah, yesterday.
So that had to be very special.
Yeah, very extremely special.
Yeah, it just this whole weekend. It's you just see it on everybody's face. Mm-hmm. You know, people were excited. There's a lot of buzz on the chassis. There's a lot of karts on the track.
A lot of karts on the track. I mean, now we, as a Trackmagic group, we have something to look forward to in Vegas. I mean, like it's not like we had the reunion, okay, and it's over. Like, we had the reunion, and it's almost like we're ramping up. Like, we're going to Vegas. Everyone's going to Vegas. A lot of these people that were here today going to Vegas to support it and everything. And so,
yeah, I want more details on that because I keep hearing from people, "Hey, today was great. We're going to Vegas." Oh yeah, we're just getting. It's like, and like you're saying, it's like, oh wait, what do you mean you guys are going to Vegas?
Yeah, well obviously we're racing Trackmagic with Matias Ramirez in the KZ category.
Yeah,
and they're gonna have like a little tent area next to my tent, my racing team tent. because the Trackmagic cart will be underneath the GFC tent, obviously.
Yeah.
And we'll be